It's me, I'm here, there's a dragon on my handlebars. I am Kaiju Rider with 6 reasons why you do need a new motorcycle and solutions to say you don't. So the first reason why you do need a new motorcycle is you don't own a motorcycle. If you do own a motorcycle, you don't need a motorcycle. But if you don't own a bike, well, you're watching this channel so you're interested, you need a bike. Everyone watching this channel has at one point or another been bike curious. Like in university, you gotta follow those urges and see where they take you. Just get it out of your system. Now the second reason you are going to need a bike is that your bike is broken. The reason you don't need a new bike is fix it. Because what is broken? If you have a flat tire, technically, yes, your machine is broken. But why don't you just get a new tire? If you're on a carbureted bike and the carbs are acting up, it's probably old enough by now where you could afford a new carburetor, or you can just clean it. And usually cleaning and rejetting a carb is pretty easy, straightforward, and a solution. I work in a custom motorcycle shop with a lot of really old 60s and 70s Harley Davidsons. Trust me on this one, it's not as hard as people make it seem. But if it's like my old V-Strom where I was having suspension issues, the brake pads needed replacing, the discs were wobbly, the chain was rusted, the wheels were all bald, and the gearbox was broken and not repaired correctly, the cost of repair was about 40% higher than the cost of the bike itself. So it's just not worth replacing anything or fixing anything. Just get a new bike. Reason number 3 to get a new bike. It fails to do what you want. A solution to say you don't need a new bike is mods. What's more fun than buying a bike? Modifying your bike. I constantly think I need a new muffler because it doesn't have that Triumph Tiger growl that I got used to in America. But then I ride this bike and think it actually sounds pretty good, it performs great, and I don't think I'm offending my landlord in the morning. But say you want something more dramatic. You want to start off-roading. Well, what do you mean by off-roading? Does that mean you want to hit a dirt road? Okay, change your tires. Problem solved. You want to go up the side of a mountain? Get hiking boots. You own a Goldwing and you really want to start doing some rally rides in the dirt? Yeah, you probably need a new bike. But I would say before you go out there and just buy a new bike, figure out if you can modify your bike to do what you want, or rent a bike, because you may think, like me when I got back to Japan, I want to do a bit of off-roading and touring because that's what YouTube has decided we all want to do. We all want to take BMW GS's on the Paris to Dakar. So I got a V-Strom, set it up to go off-road, went off-roading one time and realized I don't want to do that very much. A rental bike that can do what you think can let you know if you actually want it or if YouTube actually wants you to want it. The fourth reason to replace your bike is you're not having fun anymore. Well, you have to ask yourself, why are you not having fun anymore? What did you get into riding for? And what is missing now? If you're not enjoying twisty roads, in the US I've had some roads where in order to get really leaned over and having fun, you need to be going over 80 miles an hour, 120, 130 kilometers an hour. The answer to that is, that's a racetrack speed. Go to a racetrack or go to tighter roads like this. Like here you see the speed is 40 kilometers an hour. That's between 20 and 30 miles an hour. If I can hit 50 kilometers, which is within the legal grace that police will give you, this is actually a pretty savage road that I could have plenty of fun on a 250. That might be an answer. Change where you're riding your bike. Change how you're riding your bike. If you're thinking, I don't have enough power on my bike, I've been on a 250 for so long, I need something more. I need a 400, a 700, an 800, a 900. Well, most people who have bikes my size and bigger will never use the full power. I don't know that more than one time just to try it, I have ever gone full throttle on this bike. So a quick test, go out and ride your bike. Are you going full throttle all the time? Are you reaching red line and then keep going? Then yeah, maybe you need a new bike. Maybe you're 200 kilograms and you're riding a 250 as a beginner bike. Yeah, you probably need a bigger bike. Now the fifth reason that you might need a new bike, features. And I will say this is the one that took me down. When I went from my street triple to this, forgetting the obvious reasons for not owning that Triumph anymore, the reason I went all the way in the other direction to this adventure touring bike, I've always wanted cruise control. Some bikes you can go to a company like MC Cruise and add cruise control as an aftermarket part. So if that's your situation, you do not need a new bike. You just need to get MC Cruise and assume your bike's old enough that you won't be voiding any warranties. My first bike was a 1982 Honda CB650, and once I learned more about bikes and realized, wait, what is ABS? Well, there's 3 accidents that didn't need to happen. So that's a feature where it's just, yeah, kind of get a new bike. Not necessarily a brand new bike. Pretty much everything after 2010 is gonna have ABS, unless you're in the USA, where you'll have ABS as an option. And I do advise you spending the extra money, but live your own life. You're an adult, unless you're not, then you can't ride anyway, stop watching. But that's the thing, ABS, it's a feature that you'd like to have. Cruise control was good for me, traction control, heated grips. But again, things like heated grips, you can add that yourself. So you don't necessarily need those things. Like my wife has the SV650. She doesn't have heated grips. She doesn't have a windshield. That doesn't mean buy the brand new V-Strom. That means add heated grips and a windshield for a total of like $200 off of Amazon. Or nice ones. Now for our 6th and final reason you may or may not need a new bike. You want something shiny and new. Turtle wax. Turtle wax is the answer. Shine up your bike. It'll look shiny, it'll look new, you'll feel like it's new. Good, video over. Or maybe you really want something shiny and new. So if you look back at the first 5 reasons, if some of these reasons are affecting you and you want something shiny and new, go for it. Unless all these YouTubers you follow who just went to the EICMA after its 1-year break, you're seeing all these things and feeling like, I need something new. I, like you, even with a brand new bike, did look at the EICMA show to say, was there something I should have been waiting for? Is there something coming soon? And there was one bike that caught my eye, but it's not going to be in Japan for 2 years probably. And it's not actually better than this. It's actually this, just slightly different. It's the new XSR 900, but I could customize this into that. But if you're purely just, I want something shiny and new and not functionally different from what you have, guess what? I've had this for 6 months and it's already kind of not new. It's already kind of dirty. I've already modified it into a bunch of things. And the trick is, you won't be able to buy most of the new bikes from EICMA until about spring of next year. And then in about 3 months, they'll start unveiling their 2023 bikes. And your bike's already old. And so you want something shiny and new again. And then the next year, you want something shiny and new again. The shiny new thing will not be the shiny new thing relatively quickly. And you also have to think, how much do you ride? If you're riding literally every day, you'll get some shiny and new out of it. But let's say you're riding once a month. Well, that means you buy the bike, you wave to these bikers, you buy the bike, you ride it 3 times, which equals 3 months in that story, and after 3 rides, your brand new bike is already not the shiny new thing you want. But there is a reason I would say, yes, you do want that shiny new bike, and it is for something like, in my case, this bike. Now, this is the 3rd generation of the Tracer 900 GT, but it was the bike that blew my mind when I got to Spain, and it just came out with the first GT version, and I was lucky enough to find someone who would let me ride it for 2 hours. It's a 3-cylinder, moderately sized bike, which I would call a 900 moderate back in those days. I was still in a US state of mind, but it had cruise control, it had traction control, it had all the features. And before that time, before this bike, the smallest bike I was aware of that had all of that was a liter bike. And not just a liter like the V-Strom 1000's a liter bike technically. I mean, like, you're looking at Kawasaki liter bikes, you're looking at FJRs, you're looking at Goldwings, you're looking at monster bikes if you want cruise control. And so this was a groundbreaking bike. It was the first bike to do all the things, the end-all be-all of street touring and sport riding. And yeah, it was get the shiny new thing or don't get anything. That was the only way to get this. So in that specific kind of situation, yes, get the shiny new bike, but then ride the wheels off of it. This being a CP3 engine, it's, I believe, the 2nd most reliable motorcycle engine ever made. The worst part about getting a bike like this is I got it shiny and new, but I have no excuse to replace it for years, maybe decades, because it's just never gonna stop working correctly. You know, change the oil, the chain, the tires, the little bits, but it's gonna be great forever, and modifications can solve a lot of the dated issues over time. So that is my 6 reasons you do or do not need a new motorcycle. Depending how these reasons apply to you, stop watching YouTube videos and go ride your bike. Because as I said, I'm sure I need a new muffler for this bike. And then I ride this bike and think, I guess if I have $1,000 burning a hole in my pocket, but really, probably not. So till next time, I'll just say thanks for watching. If you're new here and you're curious about my background, mine and my wife's bikes, or Japan in general, feel free to go check out the playlists I have or any of my other videos. But till next time, I'll just say thanks for watching. This has been Kairyu Rider. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with.